Welcome to, one second, the first AP quarterly meeting here in our new home at the Connecticut Public Broadcasting Station. We are so excited to have you all in person and my friends online. Hello, hello, hello. We miss you.
Hello.
But thank you all for taking time out of your schedules to come and be with us tonight for the first of three in a mini series called Blueprint. And this is a three-part series on creating a lesson plan. And now I know, especially those of you who were educators in your past life, you're like, lesson plan? Urgh. Don't want you to think of it as a lesson plan. I want you to think of it more so like a showcase. So you're showing the teacher, the reader, the board member, what your program entails within either a 45-minute period or a 60-minute period, and being able to highlight all aspects of your program in a one-pager. So we are slowly moving towards that in the near future to have all of our artists and all of our programs have a one-pager to showcase what your program is all about. So this is just the beginning, and we're going to continue on. So thank you so very much for taking part and coming out tonight to be with us. We have a couple friends with us all the way from New Jersey, from the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. They are with us. They're in the back. Hello, friends. They've been with us all day today, checking out another one of the programs put on by Hartford Performs at the Women's League. So this is a preschool program that we are running this school year. This is the first time we're working with the Women's League, and it's been a success so far. So welcome, ladies, and they're here staying with us to take part in our event tonight. So thank you so much for attending. We're so happy to have you. And so, without further ado, I'm going to present our facilitator for the next three AP quarterly meetings. So, Janika Brown Springer, many of you probably already know her. Janika is on our roster. She represents Heartbeat Ensemble. She's an amazing actress. She's an amazing educator. I got to know Janika quite a few years ago now, when we both served at Global Communications Academy, which is one of the schools here in Hartford that we serve through Hartford Performs. Janika at the time was a second grade elementary school teacher and was phenomenal. She is fantastic at what she does as an educator and also as an artist. So we could not think of a better person to run this series than Janika Brown Springer extraordinaire. So without further ado, I will turn the mic, that's pretty low, but I will turn the mic over to Janika to get us started. Please, we have a lot of food, so get up at any time, have some more, plan to take some home. Yes, yes. And just enjoy the night. Take it away, Janika. Great. For those of us that are in the room right now, you should also know that the bathrooms are located right around the corner if you do need to go or wash your hands or whatever. Sounds great. They're close by to us. Cool. Hello, hello. I see all my friends online. I know these names. Hello. I see some more joining. Awesome. Thank you for joining by phone. Great. You will have Emily with you in the chat if you do have questions or when we have some small conversations, you can participate together. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Yes. Awesome. Hi. Good. We've got some more folks coming in the room. That's amazing. Yes, there's plenty of space. Great. So quick accessibility check, just thumbs up to make sure everybody can hear me. If you need water, if you need a pencil, if you need to get a comfy chair, do whatever you need to do to make sure you are ready, right? We good? Are we all set? Yes, get some food. You'll need that paper, right? Just that one on the table. Yep, if you have your laptop, go ahead and take that out. If you want to take notes on a notepad, that's great too. Whatever you need to make sure you're all set up and ready to go. It is a hamburger. I'll tell you why, no worries. Good? Yes, okay. So Hartford Performs gave me a very interesting task, right? I had to write a lesson plan on how to write a lesson plan. Has anyone ever asked you to do that before? No stress, right? Yeah. Great, no problem. So I'm sure you've written one before. As Aisha mentioned, a lot of you are teachers. You've been in different kinds of districts. A lot of you have more experience than I do, and I appreciate and love and respect all of you. So we're going to be working together to put this one pager together to highlight your program and also give you the heads up as to what is going to be happening, what to expect when you walk into the classroom. I also like to say that I'm sure it's hard for some of us, right, to write down exactly what it is that we do and how we do that. So I'm hoping that over this next series, I'll be able to help you and facilitate some of that conversation so that you can actually document the magic that you do. Cool. So if you are in the room right now, you have a hamburger lesson plan organizer, and we'll make sure we get it out to everybody. Yep. Thank you for holding that up. Can you hold that up again? We've got a 7-year-old helper in the class today, so I feel really in my element now. So it looks kind of like this. If you'd like to draw one at home, you're welcome to do that. If you want to make yourself a lesson plan template, however you want, just out of a table, that's cool too. So we're going to be taking it piece by piece. All right, so my first question for all of you, lesson planning. Do you feel like you are a lesson plan pro? If so, I want to see the strength. I want to see the muscles. Are you like a lesson planning pro? Or are you like, oh no, lesson plans, oh no? Okay, you have a choice. You can give me the strength lesson plan pro, or like, oh no. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. I see some of these. I see some. Oh, we got one arm, just a little bit. Oh yeah, he's got both arms. Excellent, cool. My little gesture check-in. Good to know how we're all feeling about lesson planning. Wonderful. So my first question, of course, will then be to ask you all, what do you need from me to feel successful? How can I help you, not just today, but over these next series? Also think about that. I would love to know, or you can chat with Emily to make sure that you are ready to go, okay? Any quick suggestions right now? Are we doing okay? A thumbs up, a maybe, oh no. Yes, we feeling okay? Okay, all right, great. So we all know that lesson plans don't always go exactly the way we want them. But of course, preparation is what allows us to have that toolbox of strategies. You can pivot, you can adjust, you got to differentiate, you can scaffold. And again, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of our own magic on top of everything. Once you meet the kids that walk into the classroom. So we want them to feel successful. We want to be successful. And when we're representing organizations, we want them to feel successful too. So what was my process? I attempted to document what was my process to prepare for the lesson today. Before beginning today, I wrote out a lesson plan on how I thought this should go. Number one, I thought about what the end goal is. What does Hartford Performs actually need us to accomplish with you all by the end of this 3-part session? What do they need us to produce? And that's myself included, because I'm also a teaching artist for a couple of organizations, right? 2, I thought about what are my non-negotiables for that lesson going to be? Especially dividing up how much time do I have? And I'm checking the time right now. Okay, right? I'm adjusting as I'm going along. I'm making some revisions to my plan, to our groupings, or to our interactions. And of course, surprise, surprise, we're going hybrid. So that also changes a little bit of the dynamic and what. And then 3, I had to consider how I wanted the session to end today. What do I want you all to walk away thinking about and remembering and to do next? So those are really the 3 steps. That's what our 3 sessions are going to be, right? That's the order. When you're preparing to write your lesson plan, you're beginning with the end in mind. Then you'll work your way through those activities and the timings and the management, and then close with reflections that are going to review what happened and ultimately making sure that they understand exactly what it is that you wanted them to understand. So most of the time we're building on certain skills from one to the next, or vocabulary, things that you want them to remember and take with them. So that's also really important to me to see that it comes back in that end piece. Cool. So today we're just worried about the beginning and beginning with the end in mind. So we're going to start with a warm up. Are we ready?
you're at home, you're gonna have to stand too, okay? All right, so everybody in the room, you get to stand behind your chair. And if you are at home, you get to stand behind your chair too. This is the warm-up that we do in JDPP, Justice Dance Performance Project, since that's gonna be what I'm modeling from most of for today. Got some space? Awesome. We are going to put our hands together. Make sure I can see me on the screen over here. Okay, we're warming up our hands, getting that friction going. And once we feel like it's warm, saying good morning, well, good afternoon, good evening to your arms. Thank you for driving me safely here. Morning to your cheeks. Oh, thank you for showing up in the space, warming up your brain, your hair. Don't mess it up too much. Come all the way down, shoulders. I might go, and of course, come on down to your belly. You can do your legs. You might do your knees all the way down to your feet. Good morning to your toes. Good morning to those knees, to your calves, and come right on back up. Thank you for getting us here today. Tapping is always good to warm up the body, right? Awesome. Then we might stretch a little bit. Get that arm on the other side. Sure, you all have different kinds of warm-ups you like doing with your students, right? To open it up. Yes. Making sure that our brains are present. We might stretch our arm this way. Ooh, my elbow cracked. Did you hear that? Stretch it the other way. Great. I might do some shoulder rolls. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. In second grade, they love doing imaginary swimming. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We might warm up our ankles. We'll warm up our knees. But my favorite part of the JDPP warm-up is when we put our hands on our hips. And we're going to warm up our hips and our spines by spelling your name with your hips. Are you ready? That's what we do. That's how it goes. Okay, you get to spell your own name. You don't have to spell my name. And so now teacher hat on, right? While I'm doing this, I might be inviting the teacher to join us in this warm-up. I might invite the teacher to notice whatever's going on around the room, or I might notice what they're doing too. Right. So go ahead and spell your name out real quick. Yep, don't be shy. Let's go. Big letters. And I have an I in my name. Gotta dot the I. Get the K and an A. Okay. We all spell it? Somebody have a longer name than I do? Cursive. Okay, we got some cursive going on. Great. Awesome. Yep. So again, this is a nice fun time for everybody to come together. We get to be a little silly. We're going to warm up our spines and learn about our physical space, sharing space together, spacing from each other. But it also gives you a chance to look around the classroom. What is happening? When I turn my head, everybody stretches to the left. Oh, can you spy something that is blue, right? If I turn my head to the right, oh, do you spy something that's black? And maybe I'm noticing the rules in the classroom. Maybe I'm noticing some PBIS chart that they're doing. So that's a great time to do it. Great. You are welcome to have a seat. Awesome. So because that program is so much focused on movement, that's another good one to figure out. What is our center? How do we balance? And of course, your warm-ups might change throughout your time, your visit with them too. But I just like using that one. I think that's great. I said on that part. Cool. So back to my audience conversation. Raise your hand, and I'd love to see online too. You can use your emoji if you want, or you can wave at Emily. You can also put it in the chat, right? How many of you start your session by creating some kind of class agreements? Or maybe you check in with the teacher about their PBIS systems that are going on. Do you ask about those things? Anybody that does a class agreements? Some maybes, some yeses. You have a question? PBIS, it's their behavior systems. Right? Some schools used to do little drops and they collect them. Some do, what do they call them? B-bucks at Kennelly, and they collect bucks towards something. So finding out what is the school system for management, what are they doing in the classroom? One school I went to, they had to collect 100 compliments. Could be in the hallway, could be in class. But as a guest, when you're coming in, you get to help towards their goal too. So it's good to ask and to find out, well, what are you guys doing and how can I participate in that? Because now they're going to have a really good engagement together.
Great. If you have any awesome class agreements, I would love to hear a couple of them. And if you want to throw them in the chat, that's great. What are some things that your classes have to agree on before you can actually get started? Mhm. One mic, not speaking at the same time. Absolutely. I love it. Yes, I love that. Yep. What are our goals? Stating it right up front, right? That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Yep. Anybody else? Respect agreements. Yes, yes. Can you give me an example? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Making sure that we're listening to those directions. Absolutely. Great. How many of you write out an agenda of some kind or give them some bullet points, maybe by numbers? These are the 5 things we're going to do today. First, this, next, this, third, this. Do any of you do something like that or actually write out an agenda on chart paper and you bring that with you? Couple hands, couple hands. Really? Okay, awesome. That's another great way to start off your class. So you're all on the same page. Great. So we are going to be beginning with the end in mind today. Again, you've got your hamburger organizer on your table. If you like the tables, down some. I think I put it down somewhere. Okay, that's cool. If you want to create a table for yourself, that's okay too. Creating some boxes that makes you start with your program name, the objectives or goals, right? So you're going to just be organizing the different parts. Good. So go ahead and fill out the top part, whatever your name, the organization that you might be representing, program title, grade level. So you're thinking about one program, right? One program that you do. Thank you to those of you at home. I see you writing. You can give me a thumbs up when you're ready, so I'm not going too fast. Great. If you have a computer, or again, you're at home and you know how to do the split screen thing, or you want to open up a separate tab, maybe you'll even want to open the database itself. What is that program? What did I write in there again, right? Or for those of us that teach for other organizations, again, I'm using JDPP as an example since I just did that one recently in 2nd grade. Open it up, look at that description. What exactly is it that I'm teaching? Because maybe it has changed. So I'll give you a second when I see some thumbs up that I know folks are ready to go. Keep going. He's here. He's hiding it. I made myself a little organizer. Now it's fancy. I put the label on the top. If you have a logo, you're welcome to do that. Just a couple squares, right? Questions, comments, concerns? Good so far? You do not. I just made myself a little template because I wanted to fill it out. But if you have note paper, or if you want to write on the back of your hamburger, you can. We're just going to do one piece at a time and not the whole thing today, just the beginning. So that's why I like the hamburger. But Emily already told me if you guys are using the hamburgers, you cannot submit them to the database like that. It's just our example today to help us really visualize what it is. Cool? All right. Again, if you want to draw a hamburger while you're at home, I am with it. Thumbs up when you're ready. Yes. 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 Good. Yeah. All right. So far, you should have your name or organization at the top. You should have the title of the program that you're thinking about today, one that's already on the roster that you already teach. You're just picking one to write that sample lesson on right now. And then you should probably pick a grade level, right? Because that's going to change the type of objectives you might have or what your reflection questions are going to be. So for your example, just pick a grade level. Cool? Special note we were chatting about earlier as well. If you teach multi-day programs, that is wonderful. I'm also quite used to doing that. The lesson plan is based on one of those days. Okay, you're not trying to get all of the days into that one thing. One of those days, that day one, what do I do when I come in? What's going on next? How do I end, right? So we're just focused on the beginning part. Does that make sense? Okay, say that out loud. So for your objectives and goals, guess where that's going in the top part of your burger bun? Your objectives and your goals going right at the top. Great. I see some people thinking. I see brains moving. Awesome. So you're thinking about 1 to 2 skills that you want students to have at the end of the session. Yes? They could be academic, maybe they're social or emotional, maybe they're artistic. That's okay. Pick your 1 or 2 goals and put them in that top burger bun. So again, I'm using JDPP as an example because I just taught Moving Matters. And I'm thinking that the end product of the residency is going to be some kind of theatrical movement or a composition. So I'm thinking what elements of that movement what will it be made of? What theater vocabulary do I want them to know by the end of day one? So when you're writing them, try to use your starter should probably be students will. And then decide, what do you want students to do? What will they do by the end? Aisha gave me a very cute example that said students will make a bird mask using geometric shapes and collage techniques. That could probably be 2 different objectives, right? That's one. For JDPP, I'm going to be writing down that students will recall one way to help the community because they're going to be reading a book and then picking out these ways. And then for my second one, I might write students will define and demonstrate a tableau. That's just day one. That's it. 1 or 2 things. Once you've got that, give me your emoji thumbs up. Give me a heart. You know what? Give me the party emoji. That's what I want. Our 7-year-old is very happy. He's giving me double thumbs up. Great. I got one party emoji going. Okay. Anybody else ready? See some writing happening. I will pause. You guys can keep writing. And if you're at home and you're ready to share, you're welcome to throw it in the chat as well. What are your goals? What hard skills are those students walking away with by the end of that one day in your program? I still see some people writing online. You keep going. I'm going to check on my class, scan the room since they're here. All right. How are we doing over here?
Thumbs up. We're all good. Okay, great. Students will. I love the action verbs. You want to hear some of them? Oh, Emily wants to hear some. If you're online, you're welcome to chat with her. You can unmute for a moment. You want them to raise their hand? Online is in the chat. Sounds good. Go ahead and put your objectives there, and then she can read it aloud to us. Do I have folks in the room that want to share one of your objectives? Students will do what? What are they doing? Want to? Go for it. Okay. And depending on the age group that you're talking about, maybe you don't want to say vocal shifts. Maybe you just want to say by changing their voice or controlling their voice. So you want them to understand the objectives too. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah. What are they doing? I love it. 5 Tai Chi moves. And you said explore. Explore. Great. Okay. Anybody else? And here from this side, go for it. They can do it. Mm-hmm. So they're creating their own choreography. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep. I love those action words. Create, demonstrate, understand, right? Build. Did you want to share one? Sure. Ooh, repeat the names. Yeah. Repeat or memorize or identify, remember, recall. Recall might be a very teacher word. Describe. Yep. So you can pick one, whichever one. Great. Okay. Sure. Nice. A lot of self-control with the littles. Yeah, that must be a young program. Okay. Any more in the chat? Keep going. Mariette, got one? Go for it. Ah, I see. So they're going to create their own, collaborate to create their own. Okay. Embody. That's a nice vocabulary. Great. So now that you've got your top burger bun ready to go, it's okay if you're still writing, keep going. We want to match it with what's happening at the end of your program. Now that you know what you want them to do, we want to check in at the end to make sure they did that, right? That'll also help you know what's happening in the next lesson if they did it, right? So turn those objectives that you just wrote into questions. They're reflective questions. Those are going in that bottom. Yes? Yep. This big one at the bottom. You drew it, going that big one at the bottom. So they should match. Students will collaborate. Students will memorize geometric shapes. At the end, I'm going to ask you, what geometric shapes did you use? Right? If I say you need to memorize 5 instruments, what are the names of those 5 instruments? How do you turn them into questions? Grade level specific, which is why we identify the grade level at the beginning. Yes, yes. The bottom bun, where you've got nice space. Yep. So for Aisha's example, remember she was doing something with bird mass and geometric shapes and collaging. On her bottom bun, she might write, what geometric shapes did you use on your bird mass? What art form did we do today? What do we call it when we glue those pieces of paper together, make a composition? Hint, hint, a collage, right? So we want to make sure they know that vocabulary and that they're spitting it back out to you. For my JDPP example, since we're making a dance of some sort and we're reading it from a text and they have to create their own, I might ask them, who remembers one way that we can help our community? Because that's what the story was all about. Who remembers what a tableau is? And if I have time, I'll make them all repeat it and whisper it in silly voices. A tableau is. To make sure that they all get it. Sometimes I even go a little further and I might ask them what was challenging about creating tableaus together. So you're getting them thinking about the process too. Or what did you like about today? I've had some very funny moments when making tableaus. How do we do an even better job next time working together? Whatever you want them to reflect about. I'll give you a sec to go ahead and write. And when you're ready, more party emojis. And also put it in the chat because Emily's been reading them out loud for us. If you have questions, you can put those in the chat as well. That way you can help each other. I see some good questions. I'm going to read it. It happened to pop up when I looked up the screen this time. What feelings were evoked when you embodied that comedy? How did that contrast with acting out a tragedy? Do it one more time. Sure. What feelings were evoked when you embodied comedy? And how did that contrast with acting out a tragedy? Sounds like that matched. Sure, sure. It's easier when you see both the objective and the reflection side by side. Yeah. Do I have any friends in the room who want to share? What's your reflection question? Yep. Okay. Name those animals. Being voluntold. What? Yes. Okay. That's your own little secret sauce, right? Okay. Bob Bloom has demonstrated sign language symbols for we and team and asked them at the end, what are those symbols again? Right? Can you show me what I already taught you? Yeah. Yeah. It's just a check-in. Did you enjoy working with each other? That's a great question. How was working solo different to working collaboratively? Yep. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? You can. Sure. That was very direct. So I remember what you said in the beginning. Yes. What emotions? Can you name them? And for the littles, that's really important too. Not everything's happy and sad. What other emotions? Yeah. Yep. Is that a question for you or is that for the students? Got it. Okay. Okay. So you're checking in with your leaders on how they worked with their group. Then that makes perfect sense. Yes. Yep. Yep. And then they could say, yes, they did, or this person did that, right? Okay. Great. Anybody else? Good. Awesome. Do we feel like we feel okay with that? Do we need more help with that? Doing okay? Okay. I don't see any other hands, so I'm happy. So once you finish those objectives and like your complimentary reflection questions, you're actually done. That is the first part of what it means to like document your lesson plan. Right? So I like to end my class by saying, shake it out, 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 and pat yourself on the back. You did a good job today. You're proud of yourself today. Yes, I worked hard. I stayed focused for the amount of time that I needed to. Look, thank you. He's patting you on the back too. I love it. Take a deep breath. For those of you that are typing things, press save. If you did not press save, make sure you save it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Remember where you save it. We'll figure out whatever those naming conventions are we'll need later, but save your work. Press save. Yep. If you didn't do that yet, please do. Question? Yes. Absolutely. So we're hearing that these lessons aren't just one time and then you throw it away. You get to continue using them as you're meeting up with those students. The next time you go to another room, you're using that same one. Absolutely. So you keep using it, using it. Reinforcing it. Yes, you're bringing back the vocabulary words. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I do that each time too. I did that for JDPP. Yeah. Yeah. What is a tableau again? I forgot. What did you say? What can you show me what that looks like? Right. What is balance? How do we take up space? Yeah. Yep. And you can extend it, right? So that in that program, we're looking at a book and picking out ways that they're helping the community in the story. And maybe on the next one, I'll ask them to recall. Do we remember the ways that they were helping in the story? Let me go back in the text and look. And then after that, I might add on something else. Well, how do you help in your community? So you're still connecting those same ideas and bringing it back. But yes. Other questions, thoughts? Mm. So the question is the format the same if you were doing a performance? So we're kind of talking about workshopping, we're talking about in the classroom lessons, and when we're actually working with students. So is there a difference when you're just doing a performance on stage? Emily, do you want them to do lesson plans for performances? I would think it's the same because the school still needs to know what to expect, right? When I come in, I'm doing this. And then after that, this happens. And mm, sure, sure. And I think you have a lot of call and response in your performances too, right? So you're asking them a question or you're redemonstrating something. All of that is part of it. Absolutely. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally agree. So the comment was, huh? So the comment was that there are also expectations that we might have of the schools to help us reach those goals. I totally agree. And I think having some sort of plan, being able to hand it to them is what's going to help you get there. We're going to do small groups. What are your groupings, right? We're going to do this thing. What kind of space do you have? But having it written down is what's going to help them. The timing and all of that. Yep, we'll get to that in the next part. Yeah, I feel like you have it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Great. Any final questions or thoughts or comments? Was this helpful? Yeah. Okay. Did we reach our goal today? Who remembers what our goal was today? What? Yes. What was our goal today? Our 7-year-old has raised his hand. Oh my goodness. Yes, our 7-year-old has answered. Yes, so our goal was to make sure we know what we're going to do as a teacher. And I do think we accomplished some of that today, right? So our internal goal was to make sure that you wrote down at least two of your own objectives and goals. Yeah. And also to make them match with those reflective questions. And I see a lot of our hamburgers are pretty full already that you've done that. Cool. So it looks like we've got a couple minutes left. I'm happy to challenge you to figure out that middle part. What happens in the middle of your lesson? If you have ideas for next time, that'll be the spot that they're going to go. There's not a lot of room there, but if you'd like to continue on, I won't stop you. Oh gosh. Nice. Anything else, Emma? Question. Yep. I think it was the other way. I think it was about the reflection part at the end that we want them to reflect the goals at the beginning, right? Whatever those objectives are, we want it to reflect at the end. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent. If you have any other final questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. And sounds closed over here. PBIS, yes, positive behavior intervention system or support. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Haven't heard it really. Nice. Mm-hmm. You have a question? Mm, mm. So we're hearing that some of us give out homework. Do any of you give out homework too? Sometimes they leave homework for the teacher or for those students to practice what they just went over, especially if you're not seeing them between 1 week and the next. So that was a suggestion we just had in the room. Does anybody else give out homework? I don't normally, but I think I normally see them back to back, so I don't think about that, but that's interesting. Yeah, to have them practice. And not lose that vocabulary, right? We want them to keep it, build some muscle memory. Sure. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts? Yeah, great. Well, thank you. Thank you to all of our friends that joined us online. Good to see you again. Thank you to those of you who are in the room. If you have any final questions or thoughts for that next session that you want me to know in advance or things that I can help with, again, throw those in the chat for Emma. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I think I'm going to toss that question to Emily. So the question is, are we going to be giving these lesson plans to the teachers before they come in or after? Mm-hmm. Great question. In that general description? Mm-hmm. Into the database? Yes. 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 So the database is more of a yes, but they don't know how you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. When you come into the room, they don't know how you're going to accomplish those things in your 1 session, 3 session, 5 sessions. Some of you have longer residencies, right? So to be able to write it all down and have this is one lesson, this is what today is going to look like, is going to be gold for them. Gold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So the question in the room was, haven't we done this on the database, right? So you have a general description on there. You've got objectives. All we're doing is taking those things and giving them one solid one pager of what to expect when they get there. Can you hear Aisha?
Hi.
Remember, you are your own money. You are marketing your program. So whatever you can do to really best market and showcase your program. Really helpful with that. The lesson plan that we do multifaceted where it serves multiple purposes, not only for our teachers and students, but also for you as marketing. So that really is the goal. And one of the